country, but should toys like this be allowed to be made, marketed, and sold?
On the cop's behalf, first of all, every gun he sees is loaded, cocked, and ready to be fired. So you can't make a judgment call on whether or not that's a real gun or not. He has to presume it's real. We should not have guns like this in children's hands anyway. The parents should have primary responsibility for taking care of this. But why does that gun have to be black? Why can't it be yellow? Why can't it be orange like the cap was? The cap was some deference to the fact that it could look like a real gun.
Yeah, but it came off.
Yeah, the toy manufacturers, the manufacturer that made that gun should be quaking in their boots that their gun got a 12-year-old killed, because it did.
And that's a viable legal argument,
yes.
You think, against the company.
But it's not just the gun that was black. It was the young man who was carrying it, this 12-year-old child who was black. And we know that African-American youth are more at risk for being targeted by the police. That's just a fact. And so we've got to reach out to all of our children, but I would say especially to our African-American children, and say, listen, you're at risk. You, of all people, should not even be playing with something like this.
When the lawyer for the family said, quote, this is not a black and white issue, this is a right and wrong issue, obviously wanting to say this shouldn't happen to any child ever.
Not to any child,
but
right.
It is important to always put this in context.
It's the reality.
To you, Bernard, when you're dealing with a situation like this as an officer, I would think that the first response has to be shoot at the ground, shoot at the foot, disable the person. And we don't know what was said. We don't know how many times they said drop the gun, if it did or didn't happen. But how does someone die? How does a 12-year-old die as a result of this? Why not shoot at the foot and disable them?
Well, if you shoot at the foot and you miss and that's a real gun, you're dead.
You're dead.
Here's the problem. Officers are trained to shoot to stop. Not shoot to kill, shoot to stop. They're trained to shoot major body mass, which is the chest and body area, the biggest portion of the body. And you only have, I've been involved in gun battles. You only have a few seconds to make a determination whether you're going to shoot or not. This is a tragic incident. It should not have happened. As Mark said, if that gun was yellow or it was orange or it was white or another color, I'm confident this wouldn't have happened.
Okay, so what do we do
or
now,
if it wasn't a
Mark and Jeff?
12-year-old?
How does society learn and how do things change as a result of this? Because if you just sue a company, company's got money they can pay for. What should happen?
Well, what's nice is that we're talking about it, and maybe we'll keep talking about it, so maybe we can have some law, and I don't say every law for every event, but maybe a law in this kid's honor to say those manufacturers cannot make guns that look like guns
Well, this isn't
when
the
they're
first
not.
time something like
No,
this has
and
happened.
We have to learn from these tragedies. Some good has to come from it. And so parents, school administrators, and so on, there are many toys to play with. Let's not play with guns. Let's not play with toy guns. Let's keep those out of the hands of all of our children.
But then you get into the issue, and Bernard, feel free to jump in here, but into the government overreach. Should the government be dictating what we make?
But parents can dictate to their children and tell them, we don't want you to play. We're taking these toy guns out of your hand. We'll get you anything else, but not a toy gun.
We don't let kids play with cars until they're of age. We should keep guns and things that look like guns away from them.
It is a tragedy. Our hearts go out to that family.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. We'll be back in a moment. We're going to talk about this next. Really, with deteriorating mental capacity of fixation for violence, access to guns. The new state report says Adam Lanza's history was a recipe for mass murder. The report outlines the many red flags and warning signs missed by Lanza's family, by educators, by doctors. The details next.